All right, we are going to do a little compromise here for time. Let's set a timer for 12 minutes.
Okay, 12 minutes. Starting.
I learned from the last video that this tends to get a bit long when you start dealing with the more advanced effects. So, placing the narrator. Why would this be important at all? So here we have the narrator, and I've soloed her track. Let me delete these markers really quick. Remove marker, remove marker. Those were to help me with the automation last week. So let's play a little bit of the narration.
It was nighttime on the space station. This meant that the lights were dim and there were a few people moving about as I made my way to one of the observation decks. That way I could get another look at her. The USS Boston.
So we have here Brianna Summers, which we don't learn her name until a little bit later. Unless, of course, you've read the script, then you know that she is Brianna Summers. So the question would be, where is she while she's telling this story? Is she in a room? Is she just thinking through this in her head? What is the context for the narration? If it's a third-person narration, you could just as easily have the narrator floating in space, and people don't worry too much about that. It's sort of like, trying to think of things that would be in third person. Sort of like the all-seeing bird's eye view person that explains what's going on. But this is not that. This is first person. She's telling her story. So I believe last time we went with her being in her head. I wasn't the one who did the editing for that. I just added sound effects. But this time around, since I'm doing it from scratch, I wanted to look at her space where she would be. So I did a little bit already. Let's zoom in closer. So what I did is a little bit of EQ, and I actually put a little bit of reverb, which I don't know if...
She was the first of a new class of ships, designed by and primarily constructed by the citizens of Earth. A beautiful shark of a vessel, designed to showcase Earth's technical know-how and to be a true presence in trans-system society. She was absolutely beautiful, a work of space-going art. May as well have been a sculpture for all the good she was doing right now. On her shakedown cruise, it was discovered that the hybrid navigation and sensor system was prone to...
So what I've done is I put her in the space of a room. It's like a small, almost like a closet, or you could say a dorm room. Maybe she's in her barracks at the spaceport, or her room on the ship. We don't know. So that's a very subtle way of placing her in the scene. What we could do is have it, to put her in her head. I would add a bigger effect, like replica. If I can find it here. This thing with having all the effects open. There we go. Replica. Not like this, but like, what's a big one that sounds like a reverb? I haven't used this in a while. Let's try Simplex. And of course we'll shut off the Scarlet Reverb, and this may be shocking, so...
She was the first of a new class of ships.
Okay, that does not speak of being in your head. That's outside. We're speaking in an amphitheater. Let's see. So Simplex was not the one who was sequenced.
She was the first of a new class of ships.
Okay, this is a delay and not a reverb. So let me actually do another instance of the Scarlet Reverb. Let's see, add. Scarlet Compressor. No, I want the Scarlet Reverb. So let's go. Wow, you are not cooperating with me. I must be overlooking it. Slow down, Jay. ST Scarlet compressor. Huh. What's the what type of effect is a reverb? Okay, there's a faster way to do this. We'll click on the reverb, and we'll click copy, then come down here, paste. So now we have a second instance. I'm going to disable this one, come back to this one, and now we'll try to place her in a space that will be more like in her head.
She was the first of a new class of ships, designed by and primarily constructed by the citizens of Earth. A beautiful shark of a vessel, designed to showcase Earth's technical know-how and to be a true presence in trans-system society.
No, I like the 50-50.
She was absolutely beautiful. A work of space-going art. May as well have been a sculpture for all the good she was doing right now. On her shakedown cruise, it was discovered that the hybrid navigation and sensor system was prone to fail in certain electromagnetic conditions.
Too much.
These conditions were fairly common out here. So there she sat,
This is
at her
more
berth,
what we had last time.
doing nothing while the design and technical types worked her over. My parents always told me not to put my trust in things. I didn't even bother to look around.
Okay, so this is to distinguish her from the character Brianna. Let's see.
Beautiful, isn't she?
Yes. I didn't even bother to look around. Yes, she is.
I heard she has an all-new transit engine, 3 classes of torpedoes, maser cannon, point defense guns, and multi-spectrum shields. Her onboard labs and facilities are going to be the pride of the fleet. Eventually.
I turned to face the speaker, and I immediately shot to attention.
Now, excuse me, that would be the most obvious one, and it certainly makes it stand out from
I didn't even bother to look around.
all the sound effects.
Yes, she is.
I heard she has an all-new transit engine, 3 onboard labs and facilities are going to be the pride of the fleet. Eventually.
I turned to face the speaker, and I immediately shot to attention. This was an officer.
So we could go with that, or we could go with the more subtle.
Onboard labs and facilities are going to be the pride of the fleet. Eventually.
I turned to face the speaker, and I immediately shot to attention. This was an officer.
Now, if we do go for the sort of tight room effect, we would need to add some other effects, like maybe a clock ticking in the background. And do they even have clocks in this future world? I don't know. Some kind of humming, a heater, or a furnace. I would say a fireplace, but depending on where she is, there wouldn't be a fireplace. So little stuff like that. And these just add to the depth of the world you're creating. So the next thing will be to determine between these two, the A and B. So we have the in my head.
Didn't bother to look around.
Sort of spacey
Yes,
narration.
she is. Nighttime on the space station. The USS Boston. May as well have been a sculpture for all the good she was doing right now.
And then we have the tight room.
May as well have been a sculpture for all the good she was doing right now. On her shakedown cruise, it was discovered that the hybrid...
So I'm going to come back to that, but those are a couple different ways you can set the narrator in the room. I think we may explore the put the narrator in a particular space, that is. I think we may explore the room a little bit more and then come back to in their head sort of thing. In her head, we may also want to add some an EQ, and I'm not seeing the Reaper EQ here, which is weird. Anyway, you may want to add some EQ that makes it sort of sound like she's on the telephone, sort of filter out those other frequencies. But it all depends. So anyway, that was a quick look at placing the narrator. So I think we're finished with some time left over, which is good. But we'll just go ahead and stop there and continue this next week and explore some other areas of sound design. All right, thanks for watching.